Today, Tiger and his family are heading to Fish Creek Lake to see if they can catch a beaver to eat. Living in the wilderness from a young age, they learned how to obtain food from the land. Beaver meat, rich in fat, is one of the best foods for the cold winter, and its fur can also sell for a good price. They arrive at a beaver lodge and start to chop through the ice. For such a large ice hole, it's best to start with an axe, because using an ice chisel could break through the ice layer, causing river water to flood the hole and make cleaning very difficult. While they were talking, Tiger broke through the ice, and water mixed with impurities gushed out, a sign that beavers frequently visit the area. Previously, Tiger had failed to catch a beaver and had consulted with elders about setting traps in this area based on their advice. Louise needs to keep an eye on the children, ensuring they don't ingest any water or ice from the area, as it may contain giardia, which causes beaver fever, a rather unpleasant illness. Tiger places a noose tied to a piece of wood. As the beaver swims back and forth, if it carelessly sticks its head through the noose, it would become a big meal for the family. After setting the trap, they cover the hole with snow and head home to wait. Living in the wilderness, the family has no other way to get food and must be self-sufficient. The next night, Tiger returns with his family, intent on catching the beaver. The bait from yesterday is gone, a promising sign. They shovel away the excess snow and break open the refrozen ice. When they lift the stick, they are stunned to see that the noose has been triggered but caught nothing. Analyzing the situation, Tiger suspects the noose was too large, allowing the beaver to swim through. With this experience, he plans to make the noose smaller and try again. They correct the mistake and continue their efforts, leaving the rest to fate, hoping for a catch next time. Since it's still early, they try ice fishing nearby. Finding ways to obtain food is key to survival here. Just then, a raven flies overhead, its unique call catching Tiger's attention. In their culture, ravens are seen as harbingers of good things. It seems their beaver trapping might yet be successful. Until evening, however, they catch no fish and return to camp empty-handed. On the third day, Tiger and his family returned. The bait was gone again, but after the previous failure, Tiger was noticeably less optimistic. Only after breaking through the ice could they see if their efforts were successful. The children were eager to eat beaver meat, so the pressure on Tiger was considerable. Despite the challenges, he persisted and continued to chip away at the ice. He retrieved the bait from the ice hole that he had placed the day before. When he pulled out the trap, the whole family was excited. After several days of effort, Tiger finally caught a large beaver. After the children had a chance to see it, they used the snow to dry the beaver's fur. Beaver meat, rich in fat and tender, was loaded onto the vehicle, and the children took their seats in the front as the satisfied family headed back to camp. A few hours later, the beaver turned into a pot of deliciously cooked meat. Although the catch was large, with so many mouths to feed at home, it probably wouldn't last many meals. Watching the children eagerly devour their meal, Tiger and his wife felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Their relentless efforts had finally paid off. In this materialistic age, their desires were simple. To have enough food to survive was more than enough. With the arrival of spring, Daniel's family has changed their diet. Every year at this time, they go to the other side of the island in search of food. Here they can hunt seabirds and seals, and also find unexpected treasures on the beach. After a day's boat ride, they will rest tonight in the hunting cabin before the young people go bird hunting, and Daniel tries his luck on the beach tomorrow. Early the next morning, the young hunters begin their hunt. Chase and his friend lie in wait, hoping for seabirds to come their way. It is well known that hitting fast-moving targets is very difficult. At such close range, Chase uses 2 shots, but the duck remains unscathed, causing his companion to burst out laughing. After waiting a while, another duck charges towards them. His companion tries to show off his skills to Chase, but to no avail. Hunting requires patience, a lesson they must learn. By midday, the 2 young men have caught nothing and reluctantly change hunting spots. Meanwhile, Daniel is searching the beach for treasures washed ashore. Each year, the change in sea currents brings the carcasses of naturally deceased walruses to the shore, allowing locals to collect valuable walrus ivory. However, only indigenous islanders are legally allowed to possess these treasures. Walrus ivory varies in color from pure white to pure black, and is not easy to find. Daniel walks the beach all day without finding anything. Just as he is about to give up, a section of walrus spine appears, rekindling his hope. After a careful search, he finally finds a golden tusk nearby. Since a walrus has at least 2 tusks, there should be another nearby, and indeed, there is a white one lying beside it. Chase and his friends have moved to a new hunting spot, where the wind and waves are strong, destroying their previous hideout. They reinforce and raise it to remain hidden from prey. This elevated terrain offers a good view of the surroundings, making it an ideal hunting ground. After some waiting, 3 waterfowl fly towards them but turn away before coming within effective range. They continue to wait, and soon Chris joins them. Before they can talk much, a new opportunity arises with 6 birds flying straight towards them. The 3 men fire together but miss again. While the young men's failure is excusable, it's unexpected for an experienced hunter like Chris. Frustrated, yet another bird approaches him, and this time he steadies himself and successfully downs the prey. With money earned and food secured, they all laugh together. During their downtime, all 4 men search the beach for walrus ivory. Living in such a place, opportunities to earn money are scarce throughout the year. To increase their chances, Chase starts digging in the sand. Although his efforts seem aimless, he might just uncover something valuable. Indeed, he discovers a treasure, an ivory tusk, clearly processed. Chris concludes it must be a tool left by their ancestors, a genuine antique. Daniel quickly confirms this. It's likely a very primitive harpoon head used by ancient people to hunt walruses and whales. In short, this ivory could fetch a good price. In Gamble on St. Lawrence Island, due to food scarcity, Chris and Chase rise early to stake out seals by the seaside. The seals are alert, only surfacing briefly when their oxygen runs low before diving back into the sea, leaving the brothers with no chance to strike. Seeing little hope here, they decide to try their luck at sea. Daniel, having previously suffered an injury that led to heart disease, has handed over the role of hunting leader to his eldest son, Chris, while his younger son, Chase, has been promoted to lead shooter. Both need time to adapt to their new roles. After some searching, the group finds a group of seals on an ice floe. Shooting from a moving boat poses a tough challenge for Chase. His shot misses and the seals scatter, a common occurrence in hunting, and they refrain from blaming each other, choosing instead to quickly seek the next target. Seal hunting in water is more challenging than on ice. The seals pop up briefly like whack-a-moles, a test of the hunter's quick aiming and anticipation skills. For Chase, newly appointed as lead shooter, this is exceedingly difficult. As the leader, Chris also faces challenges, piloting the boat, searching for prey, and coordinating the hunt, all while considering not just his immediate family, but the entire community. Watching Chase, Daniel reminisces about his own youth, filled with panic and confusion. He understands that his son must endure this phase to learn and adapt. When the seals frightened by their earlier attempts no longer surface, they need to find a new hunting spot. After several failures, Chase finally succeeds in killing a seal. They must quickly retrieve it from the sea, as it sinks fast after death. Using a harpoon is also part of the lead shooter's duties, aiming for a quick, painless kill. Relieved after loading the food onto the boat, the group continues hunting as there's still daylight. Chase seems to have found the knack, striking another seal with a long-distance shot. Seeing his son strive so hard brings immense satisfaction to Daniel. Back on shore, they sharpen knives and butcher the seal, which is rich in fat essential for surviving the harsh weather. Chris, who has been hunting with his father since he was 5, now passes these skills to Chase, continuing the family tradition. After cleaning the organs, they rinse the remaining meat in the sea and store it. After a long day, it's time they treated themselves. They've been craving fresh seal meat, and today's large haul means they can feast heartily. They cook the meat by the sea, cutting it into pieces to enjoy slowly. A mischievous seal just popped its head out from the sea and became the target for a female hunter. Unafraid of humans, it kept peeking out, almost provocatively. The female hunter decisively pulled the trigger, scaring the seal into swiftly swimming away. She pursued in the direction it fled. The seal continued to surface, and she locked onto it again. Although she missed, the seal dared not show itself again. The female hunter, named Nichols, was in Gamble, Alaska. Her brother Chris soon joined her. Learning of her continual misses, he helped adjust the accuracy of her shotgun. Hunting seals, walruses, and whales is a privilege for the natives here, as cultivation and breeding are impossible. Hunting marine animals is their only source of food. Outsiders can also purchase expensive hunting permits for seals. After recalibrating the shotgun, they returned to the seaside, hoping for a catch, but found no signs of prey and had no opportunity to shoot. Since they couldn't find suitable targets along the coast, they decided to try their luck at sea. Even if they didn't encounter seals, they could still catch crabs or hunt seabirds. Hunting life is far from easy, fraught with danger and unexpected events. When boarding the boat, Nichols was slightly slow and got her lower body soaked by the cold seawater. But this minor mishap did not deter them. After a while, they spotted a group of seabirds. When the prey approached, Nichols fired but missed. Shooting fast-flying birds from a moving boat is extremely challenging, even for experienced hunters. Soon, more seabirds flew towards them. Nichols seized the opportunity and successfully hit a bird. They chased the boat to the bird, and to minimize its suffering, they quickly dispatched it with a knife. This was Nichols' first cormorant of the season, weighing about 3 to 4 pounds. Since their father developed heart disease, the younger generation, especially Chris, who now took over as leader, had started to rely on their own skills. The pressures from all sides were increasing. Just then, the seal reappeared. Nichols, wanting to redeem herself, tried to shoot, but aiming from a rocking boat proved even more difficult than on land. She missed again. The target was a shy, ringed seal that would not show itself again after being frightened. They continued searching for new targets. Nichols, a determined woman, did not want to follow her mother in gathering berries and managing household chores. She preferred hunting at sea. There are many ways to find food, such as catching crabs or harvesting seabird eggs, but the sea was too rough today for those activities. So they focused on hunting seabirds. They navigated to where the seabirds congregated and waited for the prey to come closer. Chris commanded, while Nichols fully utilized her hunting skills. Shotguns have a wide range and are very effective at close range. After a series of shots, they bagged 8 cormorants, a very good haul. The siblings went ashore to process their catch. Seabird feathers are difficult to pluck cleanly, so they are often torn off with the skin. The remaining soft parts, except for the head and tail, are edible. Nichols learned a lot today. Despite many mistakes, these will be valuable experiences in her journey to becoming an excellent huntress. As they were processing the birds, some village elders came to the beach. The siblings shared 2 of their hunted birds with them. Sharing food and honoring elders are their traditions, and continuing these traditions is the mission of these young people. Here in Gamble on St. Lawrence Island, salmon becomes the staple food for the local natives each summer. They migrate from the ocean to inland rivers to spawn. Once their mission ends, their life is nearly over, and their flesh becomes inedible, making the fishing season very brief. Daniel dislikes fishing due to his lack of patience, so today's task is handed to Chris, who will head there with his wife and sister. They travel nearly 30 kilometers along the coastline to reach the Akulik River, their ancestral fishing spot. Here, they set a fishing net in the narrower parts of the river and drag it towards deeper waters. When in position, they sink a stone to serve as an anchor for the net, securing the other end to a large rock on shore. After a few hours, they return for their first check. During this time, Chris and his father construct a simple smokehouse. Local resources are scarce, so even plywood and old pallets are valuable. They must be frugal with their materials. The harsh, rapidly changing weather means the smokehouse often needs to be rebuilt annually. They shape it like a box and add several racks inside. Now it's time to check the net. Salmon only comes once a year, so catching more now makes the coming days easier. However, their hopes are dashed when they find the net empty. Life in the wilderness is about scraping by, and without catching prey they face hunger. They move upstream to narrower parts where they try their luck again. Static netting wastes time and isn't always successful, so they change tactics. The water here is shallow enough to cover the entire riverbed with the net. With one person on each end, they slowly walk the net upstream. When in position, Chris drives the fish towards the net from the opposite direction. This strategy works well, capturing a large number of salmon, including the rare king salmon. This catch, nearly 100 pounds, will feed their families and the elderly. Having mastered the right fishing technique, they replicate it, catching 7 or 8 more fish with the second net. As hunters reliant on nature, they avoid greed, taking only what they need to survive. The caught fish must be quickly gutted to preserve their valuable, nutrient-rich roe, which bursts with flavor. After cleaning the catch, it's time to head home. The salmon are processed on a cutting board, removing heads and bones, leaving only the rich orange meat, which is then smoked for preservation. Modern people get their food from stores, but here, the natives live self-sufficiently, with everything coming from the land and sea, eating only natural foods. This ancient lifestyle is passed down through generations, hoping it never vanishes from the earth. After a long day, the three treat themselves. They're having plenty of delicious salmon tonight. They slice the fish and grill it directly over charcoal. The fish ends up crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, a perfect reward for today's hard work. Eating several pounds of salmon each is no problem after such a tiring day. These ocean creatures, resembling radishes, are called sea apples by the locals. When unable to hunt larger prey, they consume these to stave off hunger. Many envy this free and easy lifestyle, but the hidden dangers and surprises can sometimes be unbearable. Daniel, along with his son, daughter, and son-in-law, went to the seaside. Locals have placed shelters along the beach at intervals for hunting. The four split into two groups to wait for prey to come to them. In the past, their lives had few choices. They relied on hunting to feed their families, so nearly every shelter had a hunter. Everyone hunted together, sharing experiences and food. With societal progress, this way of life has gradually been abandoned, with only a few families like Daniel's still maintaining these ancient traditions. Deborah, the son-in-law born in Shishmaref and an Inupiat, finds this life novel and exciting, and learns many new things. Daniel and Chase are intently searching for seals when a bird lands right at their feet, as if signaling the imminent appearance of prey. Sure enough, a large ringed seal shows up just a few meters from the shoreline. Chase quickly pulls out his shotgun to aim, but misses due to shooting too low. Two dark spots appear in the sea, exciting Daniel, but they turn out to be just seabirds. This minor failure hits Chase hard, and he might dwell on it for a long time. Seals usually do not act alone. Spotting one often means there are more. Likely, they might appear near Nichols. To ensure his daughter doesn't miss the opportunity, Daniel quickly alerts her. No seals had appeared near his daughter and son-in-law yet, so this news excites the young couple, especially since it's Nichols's first seal hunt. However, the strong winds and waves severely impair visibility, making it hard to see even if a seal appears. Daniel tells us that his daughter never liked hunting as a child, but changed her attitude completely as she grew older, which is why she's only hunting her first seal now. Her return to hunting pleases her father the most, as if he has regained a child. Just then, a long-awaited seal finally appears. Nichols quickly takes aim, and Daniel closely watches the action. Hunting opportunities are fleeting. The seal briefly appears before vanishing into the vast ocean. As the sun sets, their chances dwindle. They thought they might return empty-handed today, but the seal reappears, right near Nichols. She doesn't hesitate to pull out her shotgun and fire, but like Chase, she aims too low and misses on her first try. There's still a chance as the seal hasn't gone far. She fires again, hoping to recover the situation, but due to nervousness, the shot hits low again. However, today's seal is stubborn. Despite being shot at, it dares to surface again. Nichols's third shot is successful, and she finally downs it. Daniel and Chase, closely monitoring the situation, rush over as they see the successful hunt. Chase, having prepared the fishing rod and hooks in advance, skillfully drags the catch to shore. It's a ringed seal, weighing several tens of pounds. After much effort, Nichols has succeeded. Hunting to sustain oneself is just the first step. More challenges will come. They bring the seal home, where it's already pitch dark. In the cold outdoors, Daniel conducts a dissection lesson. The white fat is turned into seal oil, and they consume the heart, kidneys, and even the intestines. This is Aracaquette in Alaska, where after the snow melts, a brief spring begins. Tiger, a native who supports 7 children through hunting, is taking his older kids to Canuti, his family's private land. As inheritors of a nomadic tradition, they return here every spring to hunt. The season for hunting large game has mostly ended, and now only fish, waterfowl, and small animals are available for hunting. However, obtaining food is much simpler now than in winter. For this reason, Tiger didn't bring much food with him. If the children want to eat well, they must rely on their hunting skills. As they boat forward, they keep a vigilant watch, fearful of missing any game. The children, equipped with real firearms, have been taught everything about gun safety from a young age, but their hunting skills still need practice. It's around 1 a.m., and the sun is about to set, signaling time to head back to camp. After a short rest, they set out again. With the days now significantly longer, their sleep is insufficient, but the need for food outweighs the discomfort. They are lucky today, encountering some sea ducks. These birds, which rarely venture inland from the coast, are a rare treat. However, their high speed challenges the children, who lack experience with moving targets, and they fail to keep any. Just when the family feels disappointed, they spot another sea duck in the water. Hunting waterborne prey is easier, so the children successfully catch it. The situation is looking up, but they need to continue working hard, as one duck is not enough to feed a family of 9. The river channels they visit are narrow, which prompted Tiger to buy a small, powerful boat last year that can handle various conditions. On their journey, they encounter a moose with 2 calves, future food for the children, making Tiger very happy. Besides the moose, swans appear nearby, one of the only birds they do not hunt out of respect for their lifelong monogamous bonds. With no real night now, their sense of time blurs, and they hardly know how long it's been since they last slept. Beaver dams often block the narrow channels, challenging navigation. Tiger retreats a distance, then charges forward. He first clears a path over the dam, retreats, and charges again, successfully passing through. Hard journeys often yield rewards. 2 sea ducks are spotted swimming ahead. Tiger's son quickly takes aim. With the ducks not flying, his accuracy is good, and he shoots one down. Surprisingly, nearly 500 kilometers from the coast, they can still enjoy seabirds. After an intense day, around 4 a.m., the children rest briefly before starting their day's work. They spot a muskrat in the river, and the eldest son uses 3 bullets to take it down. This muskrat becomes their breakfast. After skinning and gutting it, they roast it on the fire, supplementing it with some sausage to fill their bellies. Satisfied, they use the sky as their blanket and the ground as their bed to sleep soundly. In spring and summer, they rely on small game to survive, holding out until autumn when they can hunt a large moose. Here in Arakaket, Alaska, after surviving on chicken, duck, and fish through spring and summer, Tiger, a native who supports 7 children, welcomes the fall. It's moose season again, and their family can feast heartily. Today he is taking several children to the moose hunting grounds along the Alatna River. However, they are not the only hunters in this wilderness. Powerful grizzly bears and fierce wolf packs also eye this super prey, meaning the hunters themselves could become the hunted. The hunting team finds a spot to settle. Tiger begins to mimic the call of a moose, a skill the younger ones also need to learn. Following Athabascan tradition, Tiger never says he is out to hunt because it might jinx his luck. Moose have highly sensitive hearing, so they walk through bushes lifting their feet high to avoid making noise. Crossing a forest, they reach a small open lake where a broken tree, marked by a male moose, stands. They mimic the moose call nearby and quietly wait for the prey to approach. Patience is the hardest part of hunting. Tiger, who couldn't stand waiting as a child, now must exercise patience having so many children. Suddenly, the sound of a breaking branch grabs their attention. Tiger picks up the horn and mimics the moose call again, hoping to attract a bull in heat. However, after some time, no game appears. Having spent considerable time here, they decide to move to a better location. They walk about 10 kilometers upstream to a small campsite with a cabin left by Tiger's grandmother. Before approaching, they check for any grizzly bears to avoid becoming an appetizer for predators. Fortunately, the door and windows are intact, indicating no bear visits. But opening the door gives them a scare as squirrels had raided the place, consuming all the food and causing havoc. After cleaning up and resting, they resume their journey. Moose often frequent islands and lakes, so they focus on these areas. Sure enough, they soon spot a target. The moose is fast, and they need a boat to keep up. To direct the moose to a specific area, Tiger has his son fire a blank shot to scare it in the desired direction. They then quickly boat to the other side of the island, where they find moose tracks, but lose sight of the animal. After a thorough search, they discover a bull moose hidden in dense bushes. In this epic moment, Tiger hands the responsibility to his son. They are very close to the prey, and it takes only 1 bullet to bring down the moose. Transporting a 1,000-pound animal away from waterways is not easy. especially as it's late, and they don't have enough time to complete the process. For now, they can only remove the innards to prevent the meat from spoiling. How to transport the meat home will have to wait until tomorrow. This is the second son's first moose hunt, and the ease of his success excites even Tiger. With time pressing, they quickly process the innards and rush back to camp to rest. The natives consume many organs, such as the heart, kidneys, and intestines, which will not go to waste. The animal is so large that several people work until it's too dark to see, finally removing the innards. They plan to return early the next morning to retrieve the meat. But leaving so much meat in the wild is risky. If predators find it, not even the bones may remain. Tiger, a native Alaskan, hunted a moose weighing over 1,000 pounds. Since it was too late to transport the meat back to camp, they only managed to process the innards and planned to transport the meat the next day. The night was restless, as if 25 little mice were gnawing inside his stomach. Early the next morning, they hurried back to the hunting grounds. Fortunately, the moose meat was still there. They butchered the carcass and transported it in batches to their boat. With this meat, their lives would be much better. However, Tiger's family would not keep all the food to themselves. They decided to share some with the village elders. The father and son duo chose a large moose leg, weighing dozens of pounds, and took it to Tiger's Uncle Daniel's house. He proudly told the elder that it was his son who had hunted the moose. This is Akiachak, Alaska, where newcomer Green, along with his native wife Marcella and their children, is heading to a rocky area to gather seafood. The local people rely on the land for food, subsisting on fish, deer, seals, and clams. With the tide just out, seafood is abundant everywhere. The sparse population nearby means there is little competition. They brought many buckets, some for collecting seafood, others to make into octopus traps. Today is a very low tide, so they expect to find more sea creatures than usual. However, other than crabs, they are specifically looking to catch octopus since it's the preferred bait for halibut. Green cuts a small hole in a lid and buries it in the ground, a place octopuses favor, according to local knowledge. After setting the trap, they leave it overnight to see if it works. Before heading home, they go to another spot to catch limpets, Marcella's favorite snack, which she particularly enjoys as sashimi. They aim to collect about a dozen, mindful that eating too many raw can cause stomach upset. The next day, the Green family returns to the trap site. They inspect each bucket, but, unfortunately, find them all empty. Just as they start to feel disappointed, they discover an octopus hiding under a rock. Octopuses have strong suction and are difficult to remove from crevices, but the locals have their ways. Marcella uses a tube to blow air under the rock, and surprisingly, the octopus emerges readily to meet its fate. The locals do not eat this catch. It's solely for baiting halibut. Back home, they cut the octopus into small chunks and hook them onto lines. The size of the hooks indicates they're targeting large halibut. With preparations complete, the family heads out to sea. They anchor one end of the rope in the sea and start hanging hooks, at least 20 needed to catch a halibut. By evening, it's time to check their catch, with feelings of excitement and anxiety, since they don't know what they might have caught. After pulling the rope to the hooks, initially, there is nothing. Not even the bait is touched. But soon, they haul up a cod. While nutritious, cod is not highly regarded locally and even called a trash fish. Annoyed, Green continues pulling the line and catches another cod, which he unhappily throws back. The rope grows heavier, suggesting something big. After strenuous efforts, they are not disappointed by the sea. A large halibut is on the hook, but the rope doesn't lighten, indicating more to come. After more intense pulling, another large halibut appears. Just when they think their luck might be over, they catch the biggest one yet. The 3 halibut together weigh over 100 pounds, far exceeding their expectations. The Greens won't keep this bounty to themselves. They'll share it with the community elders. This act of sharing is both a mark of respect and a way to pass on traditions.